Brothers and sisters, it's a pleasure to be here. It is a pleasure to be here. Waiting, we finally got the. I finally got the time down where we can meet together, and I'm happy about that. Very happy about that. So, brothers and sisters, I'm excited about our show today. We got have so much to say. We're going to be getting ready because I have so much to say to you today. So you just excuse me one moment. We get ourselves totally together. I'm happy to say that I've taken care of the shadow on my face. So if you just give us a few minutes, we're going to get ready. We're going to be waiting for our brothers and our sisters to make it. We're going to be waiting for them to make it. So don't forget to like. And hopefully we have a great amount of individuals who's going to subscribe so we can bust out of this 300 to get 500. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited. We got some great news today. We did a great breakthrough. I want to tell you about this Juneteenth event that we attended and how Black brothers and sisters around the world are breaking through. These meetings have been amazing around the country with Juneteenth, better than we've seen any time in our history. And it's because Black people have come together to know what they must do. So brothers and sisters, just excuse me a moment. I got some other notes that I want to get here so that we can have a great show. So pardon me just one moment. We're very, very excited with what we have, the show that we have today. So buckle up. As Dr. Kyler used to say, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Buckle up. It's going to be bumpy. Brothers and sisters, also, don't forget that we have our YouTube. We have our YouTube marquee, which is our business. And we're going to pin that up to the site. And of course, I'm always talk about that. I'm always, let you know that we have what we have going on. Because we are hopefully, or rather, we're looking forward to getting the support for the business. And hopefully that you would buy your book. We try to at least try to get, of course we need donations every month, but trying to get the information out about the book and about our foundation, because we do help feed people in the community. We help feed people, and we have Children's Breakfast Club, shelter that we're organizing now with the religious district. So we are doing something. We're not just here before you telling you that, telling you things for you to support us per se. We want you to support our program, and that does also support us. But if you'll notice in the information that we put out, we are doing things with what you're giving us. So very happy to say that. I'm very happy about the things that we're doing. And I know, and I want to apologize to those that asked for the Cash App information. I didn't notice that. I get so caught up in telling this truth that I didn't put the link in there. So I want to apologize for that, not putting the link in there. Definitely need your support, and there have been those that want to support, but we hadn't been putting the link in there. So I apologize for that. Oh yes, oh yes, certainly. To our guest, Belmo Guap. Oh, certainly. Are you going to take a look at him, brother? Yes. We have to this show we have today. Greetings, brother and sister. This show that we have today, is pointing out very peculiar moves amongst Muslims in the past and also the future. And if you notice, since we pointed Mustapha Farrakhan out, that they've even removed his Facebook page because all that stuff was even on there. So that lets you know that the enemy is busy, brothers and sisters. The enemy is busy, and we have to point out these devils. Every time we turn around, we have to point out these coons that are backstabbing us, backstabbing the movement. We got to do it. We have no choice. We have no choice. So yes, we're going to take a look at him. We've got to discuss Mustapha Farrakhan, who is over the NOI as it relates to the teaching of Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I say that as it relates to the teaching because I say again, Farrakhan does not represent the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you have to know that, brothers and sisters. You have to know that. That it doesn't speak highly of Muslims under Farrakhan's tutelage to be working with the enemy. It doesn't speak highly for them to do that. So you find a Muslim, one that proclaims to be a Muslim, that are working with the white administration. And if you look how Nuri Muhammad and Wesley Muhammad also defend their white Muslim friends or counterparts. And when they were on the Breakfast Club, when Nuri Muhammad was on the Breakfast Club, you'll see that when he was on the Breakfast Club, how he talked about your neighbor and how you should love your neighbor and treat people as you want to be treated. Now, this is some stuff he puts in this Jesus stuff. And I agree that Muslims do serve on the plate of knowledge this Jesus, but it's not served the way the white man teaches it. Because we don't even know because the white man has tampered with this doctrine, tampered with the teachings, tampered with the original books of knowledge. We don't know if Jesus ever said, love thy enemy. We don't know that. There's no way to bag it up. The first book that was used, brothers and sisters, the very first book that was used in the Bible or in this compilation that the Gentiles credit, the first book ever used to give them credit about this, their version of this man, this so-called man named Jesus, whose name was Yahashua Aliyah Asa. The white man called him Jesus. The first book that the white man used to validate that is the book of Mark, which was found in the, what century was that? It was the 70 AD, within the first century, and this happens after the resurrection, and again at 70 AD, a place called Antiochus, and you can find this in the Gentile Bible. So that's the date. First AD, the time was 70. So 70 AD. Now, Yahashua Aliyah Asa, or this one they call Jesus, We have to understand that they're establishing a reference point from what is real to another reference from what is fake. I want you to understand that. You have to understand it. Understand what I'm saying. And Jesus, the one they call Jesus, and I have to use that term because a lot of people are familiar with it. I don't want to trip people up. The one they call Jesus, was born between 4 and 6, the 6th and 4th and the 6th, 4th and the 6th year of the first century, between the 4th and 6th year. In year 70 AD is when the church was established at Antiochus. And this is where the Christian church was established by Rome. So you already know that if Rome and Greece was in power, they were the oppressive force. And we know that the Roman and the Greeks that were the oppressive force were the amalgamated Roman and Greeks, because the true Roman and Greeks were black out of Carthage, which is Libya. Peace, Sister Donna. Peace be unto you. Good to see you, sister. And so you must understand history and be able to understand how the white man has misused and misquoted history to validate his lie. And you have to know the difference between the truth and the lie. And I want to get on this because it's the only way that we can get on the or justify the foundation of the Muslim movement, and then the right teachings of the Muslim movement, and then also the deviation by Minister Farrakhan and his chief agent inducted by Minister Farrakhan, his son Mustapha Farrakhan. So let's get back on the foundation, building this foundation. So here Jesus, born between 4 to 6, the year 4, year 6 century of the first century. Year 4, year 6 of the first century, between that time. And we don't have a direct record because we know that the child himself was spoken of a prophecy was hidden because Herod desired to kill him. Herod, with the black Herod, Herod the Great, and Herod Antipas, which was the father. Herod Antipas was the father of Herod the Great. Herod the Great was the one who had his brother Philip killed and married his wife, Philippia. So let's say that this same Herod the Great, who killed his father, Herod Antipas, who sought to kill Jesus as a child, this Herod the Great, the son of Herod Antipas, was the one who told his niece, who was the son of his brother Philip, that if she danced for him, in other words, seduced him and allowed him to have sexual orientation with her, that he would give her the head of John the Baptist on a platter. Now, so I want you to understand there are two Jesuses. When I explain this to you, then you understand what this whole thing is about, the difference between the truth and a lie. And it goes straight down the middle, from the very top to every religion and every fake, fraud, and phony that follows their lie path. You'll find out that it can't be trusted, and he's always with the enemy. Now, Rome has never been a friend. Rome as a state, and as a religious state, as a financial state, a military state, and an economical state, has never been a friend of black people. Jesus himself was Palestinian. He was from Ethiopia. The original Ethiopia is where he was from. These Palestinians were from. There was no such thing as a white Jew, because all of the original Jews, original people, were from Ethiopia. They were known by the color of their skin. They were known by their eyes. They were known by the texture of their hair. They were known by that. I want you to understand. I want you to understand that they were known by that. So when it says that Jesus, they describe him in Revelation 1 and 13, They said that Jesus had hair like lamb's wool, very coarse, knotted hair, and even to the point of dreads, even to the point of dreadlocks. So nothing was to touch his head. And he had eyes as a flame of fire. In other words, indignation. Red eyes, black people, indignation. Also, that his feet appeared as brass that had been burnt in an oven or furnace, which meant brass, when it is burnt, becomes black, become just pure black. So this Jesus they sought, the original identity and teachings of this Jesus, they sought to reorchestrate, to reorganize this teaching of this one they noted as the Messiah, Jesus. Now, in retrospect, if you look at black people, nothing takes off without you. Nobody can sing a song the way you sing it. Nobody can play music the way you and I sing it. They can't do it. They can't dance the way that you and I sing it. I don't care how many dance machines the white man makes. He'll never be able to create someone that dances as well as you do. He can't do it. The music comes from within. The music comes from within. Even if a black brother can't dance, he dances better than a white boy that has learned to dance. That's just the way that God has it. He can never sing like you. The white people can't sing like us. They can copy us, they can mimic us, but they'll never be able to sing like us. Never be able to sing like us. That's right, brother Larry Moore. God bless you, brother. That's right, and certainly. Keep in line. That is correct. That is correct. Nicene and also the Essenes. The one that was known with the Nicene and also the Essenes. So that is correct. We're talking about that Jesus and giving a correct history on him. And we're just going to touch on it because there's going to come a show where we'll be breaking down Jesus. And I invite you to anything I don't touch on, please make the comment, because we're all learning and we're all learning and we're all teaching one another. Each one will teach one and reach one. So all of us are doing this together. All of us are doing this together. And I appreciate your comments and everything. Please make the comments. And if you've seen something you can point out, please point that out, because this is the way that we all learn. And so I want to thank the brother, thank anyone that has something to say. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. They took the true identity of this Jesus and they whitewashed it. They took it and they whitewashed it. Now, Rome, this is very important, because when I get down to Farrakhan, you're going to understand it. Rome has never been a friend of African people. They tried to kill us, and they tried to use coons to kill us. Herod, the Antipas, a black man, Herod the Great, another black man that had confided and made deals with Rome, were paid to kill the Messiah or the one to come. And they were willing to kill any black baby born at a certain point from the time that they heard the mystery of the one to come who would overturn the corruption in the planet. They were willing to kill any one of them they found. But here's the thing. The white man would trick you to believe that there was only one. And that's not true. This is where you have to understand. There was one to come, but there was a generation to validate that teaching. So in other words, when it says, how can the people hear without a minister? And how can the minister unless he was sent? Mean that we are all the messianic promise, and we are all the ones that God will use behind a leader that decided to stand for justice and righteousness. God will use us to stand behind him and make evident the word of God that was given to him. I want you to understand that. So in other words, all of us are the Messiah. I want you to understand that. God's spirit is in all of us to bring about that truth, because we're all preaching and teaching the same knowledge no matter where we come from. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Baha'i faith. I don't care if you are Zoroastrian. I don't care if you call yourself an atheist. I don't care if you call yourself Hebrew Israelite, whether you are a Mauricelm Temple of America or a Garveyite, whatever it is, you'll find that all of us are teaching this same consciousness. Peace be unto you, brother Crack Kills. Bless you. Bless you. Glad to have you back with us. I'm so thankful. And so you have to understand this, because he says in unity there's strength. So we do things in unity. We're standing together as one voice, one people, one mind, as we have one Lord, one faith, one baptism. I want you to understand this. This is very, very important. So there are two versions of this Jesus they want to give you. They got a white version of Jesus that's been dunked in the history of bleach and lies. And then there's the original version. The white man has been pushing a narrative of a white version of Jesus. He's been pushing that narrative. Now look at this. In his version of Jesus, the white man can do anything he wants to you, anything he wants, and get forgiveness. Brothers and sisters, I want you to hear me. The man don't believe. He knows better, but he doesn't want you to believe that God is going to punish him for the evil that he's been doing. And you and I are God's handiwork. Stay with me now. God created us to correct the corruption of what is happening in our world today. That's a fact, brothers and sisters. We can't get around it. Anytime you see the prophet or the messianic race, which is us, the black people of this planet, we are called out to correct the white man. Anytime you see us, we're called out to defend our communities. This is where the law of an eye for an eye was established. It had to be established because the children of Cain were warring and murderous people. The Edomites, the Hittites, were warring evil people. Warring and evil. I want you to know that. Because once you know that, then you'll understand why he said, come out from among them, O ye my people, because you were dealing with heathens on a daily basis. If they don't come from the same teachings, if they don't come from the same teachings of salvation, the teachings of righteousness, the teachings of community unity and things of that nature, if they don't come from a holistic type of religious, social, psychological, educational, and biological studies and otherwise, I want you to understand that they're your enemy. And you can't expect the white man to see things the way that you see, or for them to comprise knowledge and history the way that you comprise knowledge and history. They're not going to do it because they're not made of the same stuff that you're made of, brothers and sisters. And I want you to understand that. It's very important. Very important for you to understand that. So let's move on down through history. We know that Constantine fastened, after he shedded the blood of black people, fastened this other notion and pinned it the reverence and the likelihood of this light or this white Jesus. Now, who doesn't exist? Who doesn't exist? Only in the white man's mind. Now, let's move to our century, because we're not going to go hit every piece of history because I don't want to lose you. In our century, we had to have a religion. This is during slavery. When I talk about our century, I mean the 21st century today. Now, when I discuss the dispensation of slavery, which means an area or period of slavery that the white man brought, it's not our history. It's the white man's history. Slavery is a part of his history of conquest and manipulation and violence and bloodshed. Not a part of our history. It's an incident of our history. Not a part of our history. You have to understand that. So we learned through this dispensation of the white man's history of violence, bloodshed, and conquest that this man way of thinking, mode of thinking is totally different than any other people on the planet, because wherever he's been, he's enslaved, butchered, killed, lynched, and mobbed. Wherever he's been, He's literally wiped out and caused billions in death of black, brown, yellow, and red people. This is a fact. And you'll see that this has been a major part of his action, major part of his habit. It is a thing that denotes him. One, our brother Crack Hill said, Revelation 6:8, I looked and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider named Death, and Hades also following close behind him. And they were given power over the fourth part of the earth to kill by the sword. Brother, yes. Brother, yes. All praises be to God for you to bring that out. God gave you that. And that's right. And this man is torturing us in this dispensation. The dispensation of slavery, which meant the years, the centuries. I want you to understand that slavery lasted for centuries. My God. And this devil and beast, the worst that you ever seen in your life, was the one that brought all of this evil. The worst thing that you and I have ever seen in our life brought this evil. Now, brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that after we've been through this, God had let us know. God let us know through these incidents, and prior to that, we were warned by African elders that warned other Africans that had sold out, coons that had sold out, that these people are not to be trusted. They're not to be trusted. I want to tell you, it's going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Ghana was one of the places that had sold out. I want to tell you that. Ghana was one of the places that had sold out. They had kingdoms that had sold out. Gambia was one of the places, the kingdom that had sold out to our people. Different chieftains from those areas. And there was a great war between Africans to try to save Africa. They'll tell you that there was, brothers and sisters, there were African kingdoms, such as Queen Nzinga, this is where the name come from, who was a lady warrior, who was also a queen in her own right, and priestess, who stood out to fight against the tyranny that had come against African people as it relates to Europeans' visitation to Africa. They wanted them out. You know about Shaka Zulu and him militarizing all of Southern Africa, part of Southeast Africa, Southwest Africa, and fastly raising a nation in the Mali Kingdom. We know it. This is a fact. This is a fact. That's right. You have puppet governments now in Africa as a result of those that have sold out. And the way that you know it is that you always find them paying homage to the white man, and they have no power for their people, and their people are still in oppression and poverty and a local political form of colonization called democracy. That's right. When you say democracy or Democrat, you are forced to follow a constitution that has no relationship with your past, your present, no relationship with your culture. This organization, this document is from your colonizer. Oh, wish I had a witness tonight. This is from your colonizer. It wasn't built for you, but it was built to keep his kingdom intact, because it would keep his slaves intact. That's right, Democrat. Democrat, Dixiecrat. Democrat or Dixiecrat. So we have to understand that, brothers and sisters. Now, if we know that we're in a nation that is still preaching plantationism, right? Plantationism, which is still teaching democracy, which keeps the plantation intact, we would be foolish to trust and believe this government who protects its people. Who are his people? The white people. The white people, the same as the Republicans that con the Republic, conners of the Republic, that are lying to you and I too, because we're not a part of the Republic. You got to know that. We are 21st century slaves. We have always been slaves. You can't emancipate in oppressed people. You can't do it. When the document was first written, it was written for, by white people. For and by white people. When it was written, it had no idea of you in mind. None whatsoever. You were seen as cattle. You were seen as chattel. This is an understanding that we all have. You were seen as that. Now, with that being said, I want you to understand. With that being said, don't forget the thumbs up, subscribe, and like, brothers and sisters, please. With that being said, I want you to understand. I want you to understand that you have two understandings, two pivots of thought amongst slaves, because they had you separated based on their ability to be able to identify with you. You had the house slave and you had the field slave. And I want to explain that. These are not just terms. The house slave was normally amalgamated. They were noted by their hair. They were noted by their skin color. They were noted by their habits. They were noted by their education. And the house slave was educated to keep intact in the house, right? Because they put them over the field slave, the desires and wish of the master. Where did the house slave come from? The house slave came from the master who had been sleeping with one of the slaves, who produced children. And the only reason he produced those children was to keep you and I intact. Brothers and sisters, I pray that you can see exactly where I'm going. And if the house slave, which is the amalgamated black man, has the blood of the white man in him, okay, and that white man is his father or that's his mother, so you got a he devil and a she devil, then this anomaly, because that's what they are, this strange anomaly is going to try to keep the attention of the white man, who is the oppressor, in power, because that's their father, their mother. I want you to really understand that, because that's how I'm going to help you understand Master Farad Muhammad, why he was so important. Master Farad Muhammad. I want you to understand that. Because I've heard people say, well, he had a white mother. Well, if he's building up black people and his mother was white, this is the truth, who could better tell me about the evil racism and the spiritual wickedness of a white woman other than somebody who has their blood in them that has decided consciously to stand up for black people? Because I say again, they are still black. But the decision has to be made that they will stand up for black people. There are black people that are physically, and I said, no, the term black and white comes from the white man. And I use the term black and white. I'm using them in a physical sense, a chemical sense, and a biological sense, even though I use them against my will. But I have to use it to explain what I'm trying to say. But I want you to understand, black and white is still something I use it against my will, but I'll use it to fit the purpose. Now, when you're black and you're fighting to be black, you've got some brothers that may have their blood in them, but they're supporting black people. They've decided to go against whites because they see them as an oppression. Besides, many of them, if not all, and when I say many, I mean 99%, if not all, have felt the horrible and brutal treatment of racism from their own parents, where their parents call them nigger, parents call them half-breed, parents call them mulatto, or whatever, zebras, whatever you can name. And so even the term African-American is an insult for you and I, because we're African, we're not American. Now, when you see a person that is mixed, where they're black and white together, or mulatto, or whatever you want to call it, this is a true African-American. But you and I are not African-American. This is a racist term. Even that individual is not an African-American, because if you got a drop of black in you, you're black. But it's really an insult to say that we're African American. That's right, brother Crack Kills. It is an insult because we're not African American. We're African, but we're not American. And if you don't believe that, all you have to do is look around the country, how they're killing us, and you'll learn very soon that we're African, but we're not American. Now, in saying that, the house slave had two choices to make. Either they could take the information of the master and use it against them and help the field slave and overtake the plantation, which many of them did. In honesty, many of them did. Many of them did. Many of them did. You better believe it, brother. Old messy Jesse Jackson, you better believe it, brother. So when you understand the technique of racism, they took our own people, used it against us. They raped and amalgamated a race and distorted the psychological perception of what it is to be black, and tried to create a version or a word called African American that they had no intentions to keep or to honor. And then after that, I want you to understand, they put on applications while you were slaves, as well as free men, a connotation of black and what it meant. So you will still know it to be black, but African American is a political term, brothers and sisters. That's all it is. So the emancipation wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Segregation and integration wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Separate but equal wasn't worth the paper that it was written on. And civil rights wasn't worth the paper that it was written on. Because if you were free and emancipated, you wouldn't have to fight for these things. And I hope you're understanding me. Now, let's go on down to where black people begin to gain power. And we're going to get on down to talk about what we're talking about, because this is very important. And I thank you for your attention, because the only way that I can explain it and explain our grief and explain our contention is to go all the way down this line. Even though I'm trying to touch the main points, but there's so much in between, brothers and sisters. There's so much in between. That's why I tell you that if you can think of anything, make sure you make the comments. Make the comments in the section, because we're all learning together and we're all teaching together. And so I want you to understand that black people, after the so-called emancipation, were still being killed by Democrats and Republicans, had to build themselves up with the trades that they had, because they had all the trades. I want you to know that the plantation would have never worked with ignorant people. You were wise people running the plantation, so much so that there were many English people that didn't know how to read, and here you are reading their documents, signing their name, whether you were in the hospital, you did surgery, but you wasn't the chief surgeon in the hospital. If you worked in the bank, you wasn't the head banker, but you were the banker. You wasn't the head banker. If you worked in the factory, you were a supervisor of the factory, but you didn't own the factory. Any occupation, a scientist, you were an adjunct scientist, but you wasn't the chief scientist. If you built automobiles, engineers, they were engineers, but they weren't head engineers. IT tech, if you were a tech person, you were a technician, but you wasn't a head technician. So I want you to understand, all these things ran on the plantation. There's nothing new under the sun. What's being did has already been done. There's nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. I want you to understand that. Peace be unto you, brother Jesse Green. God bless you, brother. And so we have to understand that the white man has been using the same blueprint, the same thing going the whole time. He hasn't changed anything. He polishes up. He polished this up, but he'll put it back into play. So now, black people knew, with all this knowledge and all this ability that they had when they were enslaved and brought here, they had increased their knowledge. Brothers and sisters, I hope you hear me, because these devils got you believing that black people didn't even know how to read. The black man was teaching the Englishmen how to read and how to understand, how to research his own language, because the English language comes from Africa, a language called Theodoric. And Theodoric, which was a language or study of God, which was a philology of words that were personal and particular to subject, pronoun, consonants, and adjectives, that was created by Africa was taught to the English when they were coming out of the cave. I hope you're with me, brothers and sisters. Greetings, dear Sister Tara. Greetings. All praises be to Allah for you. Thank you for showing up. And so, brothers and sisters, we have to understand this. We have to understand that you have been the teachers, the knowledge, and the professors of this knowledge the entire time. These devils have been lying to you. And I just want you to know it. So if you look, when black people began to form their own organizations, I mean, from the National Baptist Convention, after slavery, they created the National Baptist Religious Movement. Later, it became the National Baptist Convention, which was created under E.C. Morris, who Centennial Church in West Helena, Arkansas. All the Baptist churches around the world came from there. E.C. Morris came out of Georgia, the same as Elijah Poole's father that was teaching in this knowledge of Garveyite or Garveyism. Elijah Poole, who later became Elijah Muhammad, established with the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad, the Nation of Islam. So all of this is coming from the same movement. Prior to that, Noble Drew Ali, where the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had also studied and participated, was teaching the same knowledge of black do-for-self independence. Garvey, Marcus Garvey, who had came from Haiti, who had come from a class in Haiti that was a wealth class, taught the same knowledge of individual black nationalism, Pan-Africanism, and power. I want you to understand this. E.C. Morris, who was friends with Charles E. Mason, who come out of the Church of God in Christ, in 1901, still organized under the same understanding and philosophy from the same organization. He went to Arkansas Baptist College in Little Rock, Arkansas. What happens there? He created the Pentecostal movement, Church of God in Christ, Church of God. You got to understand that, brothers and sisters. You have to understand that black people were attending each other's religious organizations, religious salvation, and religious teaching the same way that all the Africans were appreciative of each other's religious knowledge, because all of it was given to Africans and were orchestrated by God and spread it out through Africa, the same teaching. So as Africans, you and I, as Africans, are doing the same thing here, but we're still people of God here, and we are the leading people of God in this bondage, just as it was spoken of as Jonah in the belly of the whale. Jesus, this man they called Jesus, that was inside of the tomb, whose name was Yahashua Aliyah Asa, the same knowledge of the Egyptian bondage of 400 years, which was talking about you and I in this nation, this place, like Jonah was swallowed by the whale and spew up on a plantation system, on a land that we desired not to be, but God sent us anyway because we had to come here. God didn't do it, but he'd allow it and kept us for us to relearn the evil, right? The evil and the life of evil about this man, this white man. I want you to understand, we're all united. It's the white man that divides us. The white man is dividing us. But when you look and do the research, you find out that we all come from the same place, teaching the same thing, the same philosophy, and that we bear witness that there's only one God. One God. He's had messengers, and Elijah is his messenger too. Brothers and sisters, the final message and the great message was sent through the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to talk about independent black nationalism amongst your own people, self-support, do for self, and fix your community. All praises be to Allah for our sister D.D. Taylor. Sister, I've been missing you. I'm glad you've been here. All praises for seeing you. And so, brothers and sisters, you have to understand. You have to understand that the man's been tricking you. The man has been tricking you. Yes, dear sister, the white man only caused division. That's all he can do. That's all he. All praises be to Allah for brother Ital, man. Appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. And we appreciate you. We're on every night because this knowledge has to be taught. But the white man is tricking you. He's tricking you. He'll keep us divided. Don't forget to thumbs up and like and subscribe, brothers and sisters, please, so we can make this channel more successful and reach more people. I certainly appreciate you. And please make comments, and let me know that you're out there. And if I miss anything, please, I'm humble, brothers and sisters. Tell me what I missed. Always touch it and type it in so that we can all learn together. So, brothers and sisters, this trick of dividing us, making us think that we're under one leadership, that there's only one, that's not true. There are many members, but one body. Oh, I wish I had a witness out there. I wish I had a witness out there. There are many members, but one body. We, as black people, are many members, but one body. Now, in saying that, brothers and sisters, we have the knowledge that we can't trust this white man. I'm sure you would agree. I'm sure you wouldn't agree. You would agree. All praises be to Allah, sister. That's okay. We know that you've been out there, and we want to let you know we've been saying your name and wondering where you were. And we know you've been busy doing the work. And so we are being tricked more so when we believe that all of us are subject to a single teaching. No, brothers and sisters, but Africa is great because there were many religious systems in Africa. And all of these religious systems tied to the same truth and the same goal, which was freedom, justice, equality, and religious righteous teaching or religious expression. We have to understand that. It's only the white man that divides us. And the minute as we continue to listen to him, we'll continue to be divided. Now, no black man in their right mind is going to listen to a white man once he's viewed the history. That's why I keep going over the history. Now, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has the most successful blueprint that you and I can follow. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has it. Because his blueprint says do for self. His blueprint raises us up from a dead level to a live one. His blueprint turns us 360 degrees. And we are a perfect perpendicular line with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Our social teaching, our religious teaching, and every other teaching is perpendicular. And he doesn't divide it. Listen, brothers and sisters, a good Muslim is a good Christian, and a good Christian is a good Muslim. There's no division. Muhammad teaches that. They'll tell you that we don't believe in the teachings of Christ. We believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ, but we teach about the correct Jesus. So it doesn't matter whether you are in the Baptist church, whether you're in Church of God in Christ, or the Zion Temple of America, Hebrew Israelite, or whatever the religion is. Even if you're atheist, you are still part of the lost found nation that God has identified as the holy people of this planet. I want you to understand that. You have to understand that. So, brothers and sisters, what am I saying? When you find any black man that deviates from the universal knowledge that I can change the white man, or I can work with the white man, or I'm exceptional with the white man, I'll show you an agent, I'll show you a provocateur, I'll show you a fake, fraud, and phony that is being paid and subsidized by the white man to keep you and I oppressed and to even kill us. And the white man will continue to build them up on the foundation that they can be trusted to what? Oppress us, to miseducate us, to misreligion us, and to kill us. Hiram Biff was killed by a coward and an eavesdropper. I'm talking to my Masons out there today and my Eastern Stars. I want you to understand, I'm going to just say that. I just want to say that I can say because that's normal reading. I can say that. Hiram Biff was killed by cowards and eavesdroppers. Brothers and sisters, when I say they understand what that means, his head was severed, my God, from his body. And I'll just leave that right there. Now, what am I saying when I say that, brothers and sisters? What I'm saying is, if you are cut off from a knowledge of yourself, before you even physically kill, you're already dead. You and I are already dead if we're cut off from the knowledge of ourselves. If we don't build up ourselves and research and study our own history, we're already dead. The American history is not our history. George Washington is not our forefather. This was our plantation owner. He's the forefather of plantation owners in America. He's the forefather of murderers and slave owners that brought you to America. This is not your forefather. You see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? So we have to understand that we're on a plantation, we're still here. Now, anytime you see a house slave that will work for the master to miseducate you, misreligion you, to kill you, right? Physically, spiritually, socially, and otherwise, then I want you to know that this person is a danger to your community. Now, let's go back. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a teaching, a blueprint, has a teaching and a blueprint that is good for the black man. All black nationalists know it, all Christians know it, all Muslims know it. This is a fact. That when you do for yourself, that you're building yourself up. This is the truth. When you pour your resources in your community, then you can beautify your community. This is a fact. And brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that when you're spending your money with the white man, that money goes out of your community, goes over to the white man's community, and you wonder why your community is so run down, and you look at his community and he's building it up, because that money is leaving out of your community and going across the tracks. He'll put stores in your community, but you won't live in your community. Same thing with the Arabs, the Arabs, the so-called Arabs, the white Arabs. They'll build stores in your community, they won't live in your community, because that basket full of money is leaving out of your community and going over to his community. That's a fact. And brothers and sisters, you have to understand this, because if you don't understand it, you're finished. If you don't understand it. Greetings, dear brother Jesse. Greetings. And so you have to understand this, because if you don't, it'll finish you out. Don't forget to subscribe and like and thumbs up, brothers and sisters, please. And even those that disagree, do a thumbs down, make a comment. Let us know that you're out there. And so black people have to understand, especially in this day and time, the white man is killing you because you are a threat. He's losing the very government he set up. He's losing the very government that he set up to keep you and I in prison. You got to understand that. I said prison because plantation is a prison. It's a zoo. The penal system is just an extension of that zoo. And so you have to understand that. You have to understand it. So when you look at people like Farrakhan deviating from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when you really study the history of Minister Malcolm and Minister Farrakhan, you'll find out that Farrakhan was the one, along with Wallace Waradeen Muhammad, along with National Press Representative John Ali, and many others, such as James 26X. That and there was another, they don't talk about, James 13X, that had turned against Minister Malcolm, and had caused trouble between him and Mr. Muhammad. And this is a part in the actual history. All you have to do is get a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and you will find out that this is true. But the white man is not going to tell you, and Farrakhan's not going to tell you the truth, that they even poisoned the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad February the 20th, I believe, February the 23rd, I believe, but I know it was in February 23rd, I believe, 1975. And they killed Minister Malcolm February the 21st, 1965. So they killed Minister Malcolm in 1965, February, killed the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad by poison, cortisone treatment, killed him in February the 23rd, I believe, of 1975. It was certainly 1975. The month was February. And Farrakhan is attached to all these people. I'm just trying to tell you. They killed Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, my teacher and leader who first introduced me to the Nation of Islam from 1986 to 12 years of age, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, they killed him. And I was with him from start to finish. They killed him in February the 18th of 2001. I want you to look. Each of these deaths happened in February. That lets you know the white man has a dark history. And he do these things to smudge things in your face. This is what he does. but see, you have to open your eyes so you can see it. Mm-hmm. But many of them believe that the white man is their friend. Many of our brothers and sisters believe that the white man is their friend. Now, and they'll say, well, not all white people are bad. Well, the only thing I'll say to that is this. The only good ones I've ever seen is in the grave. And John Brown was the hardest fighting white abolitionist I ever seen in my life. And he would be the one person, and even Minister Malcolm agrees, and Dr. Khalid agrees, that if he could join the African American Defense League or the Organization for African American Unity, that we would accept him in there. Our sisters come before us, so I want to say this very quickly. And so I want you to understand that the only reason I can say that is because he's dead. Because if he was alive, then I couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust John Brown alive, so I can say it about him when he's dead, because I know if he was alive, there's no way that he could get into African American Defense League, Organization for African American Unity. He couldn't do it. So I want you to understand that all of these February deaths were committed by the white man. It's his fingerprint, brothers and sisters. You find out that Sister Betty Shabazz, who was killed with the fingerprint of fire, the same fire that was used to burn down Minister Malcolm's house when he was a child. His father, Earl Little, was under the same pressure, under the same pressure of this fire. Now, this fire followed Minister Malcolm, right? When he's married to Sister Betty, that's the CIA, FBI, white people, that's their fingerprint. And then you notice in 1997, Sister Betty Shabazz is killed in a fire that the white people tried to blame on her grandson, young Malcolm Shabazz, who to the day that he died denied that he had ever set a fire, because that's the government fingerprint. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That the man is tricking you every time you turn around. He's tricking you. He didn't even trust the people that were selected to kill Minister Malcolm, that Minister Farrakhan met with in Newark, New Jersey. When the man left there when the murder was being committed, and Farrakhan was in Newark, New Jersey, when his temple is all the way in Boston, Massachusetts. Brothers and sisters, I'm trying to cause you to use your head. He's attached to all of the people, even the one doing the shooting. And the white man, his financier, his subsidizer, didn't even trust the men that were selected with this knowledge to do this killing, because they gave them blanks. And if you read the Freedom of Information Act, Minister Malcolm, in his chest were blanks that had pierced his skin, because blanks at a close range can kill you as well as a bullet. But they shot, the CIA and FBI agents shot Minister Malcolm X from the ceiling. They shot him from the ceiling of the Audubon Ballroom behind on a scaffold behind a hanging ceiling. So, brothers and sisters, I'm trying to tell you this truth, because you got Farrakhan, who says that he teaches the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which he doesn't, and by using Dianetics from L. Ron Hubbard, a white devil, and has integrated that in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to audit individuals. Now, here you are as black people using a white man's philosophy in a perfect teaching to audit individuals. So you're giving all your information. Where is this information going? They're turning it all over. So they know everybody in the Muslim movement. Now, you can't trust that. Also, how can you fight against an administration when the Department of Correction, the Federal Department of Correction, has given you money, over $1 billion, to how do you say it? Rehabilitate felons, both black and white. That and this was in 1985, as early as 1985. Have given them over $1 billion to date to rehabilitate felons, both black and white, to come out of the system. They go inside the prison system to teach and come out. And there's nothing wrong in that in itself. But the fact that you're taking money from the government, the same government that you're fighting, is suspect, brothers and sisters. That's all I'm saying. It's suspect. Now, we're talking about the father because the father, the son is just like the father. Son is just like the father. Now, Farrakhan is doing all of this stuff and dealing with these police and all these devils. Bill Clinton, who came against Dr. Khaled and ostracized Dr. Khaled, voted in the House of Senate and Representatives in 1993 to silence Dr. Khalid Muhammad. The House of Representatives and even black coons from the black Congress, black coons from the black Congress also helped unanimously to pass this what they call gag order against Dr. Khaled, who was defending Minister Farrakhan. Farrakhan himself went along with him when this complaint came in, ousted Dr. Khaled from the Nation of Islam, who was teaching true doctrine of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Farrakhan ousted him. Not only did he oust him, brothers and sisters, but the evolution was when he ousted him that he was to be taken out. In 1994, in California, Dr. Khaled is shot by James Best, who would proclaim himself as a friend of Minister Farrakhan, and to this day has received funding from Minister Farrakhan and showcased Minister Farrakhan's picture, just as he did in 1965 when he killed his brother for serving Minister Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. This same James Best, who worshipped Farrakhan in 1961 through 1994, who shot Dr. Khaled for Farrakhan, is the same James Best who was never arrested in 1965 for killing his brother, who was attached to the killing of Minister Malcolm X, the mystery gun, who never did a day in prison after these assassination attempts, during the assassination of his own brother, who never did a day in prison after the assassination, the attempted assassination of Dr. Khalid Muhammad in 1994, and was rescued by the police. Now you tell me what black man can create or commit a crime and be protected by white devils in blue uniform who are killing black people every day, every week, every month, every year, every second of our lives. Only the devil's demons get those kind of protection. Minister Farrakhan has never been in any danger because his son, Mustapha, Minister Farrakhan's son, Mustapha Farrakhan, is on the Harvey, Illinois police force, have been on it for years. As a matter of fact, they blackmailed him in an article that we displayed on Taharka Bay, Moorish World TV. And in that article, if you go back and look at that show, we pull up the article and I show it, been complaining about it for years, that Farrakhan has never been in any danger, that he deviated from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because in 1985, 1986, on Phil Donahue, he also said that one day white Muslims will be able to come inside of the Nation of Islam. Brothers and sisters, this is a heresy and a heretic and a lunatic that is before our people have been teaching them all day. You have also Nuri Muhammad. If you look at him, same thing. You look at Wesley Muhammad, which we're going to talk about that, the very same thing. But we have to talk about Mustapha because he is the head of the NOI. The head of the NOI and also a paid agent of the FBI. So brothers and sisters, that's the foundation that I've built to be able to talk to you about Mustapha Muhammad. And all you have to do is research. And it's so much to cover. That's why I have a book That's why I have a book. Brother Crack Hill says, don't answer. But why wasn't he freaky with? You'll find out, brothers and sisters, that Farrakhan's son was dating a white woman with his blessing. In 1993, Dr. Khalid Muhammad had problems with it, and he questioned the minister about it. He questioned the minister's son about it, about bringing a devil into the temple. I want you to understand this, brothers and sisters. So there were many reasons why Farrakhan had to get rid of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, because the nation of America wasn't going to continue to pay the Nation of Islam. In their original format, which is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which says, come out from among them, O ye my people, because the white man is a devil. So Farrakhan starts immediately teaching this false religion that one day the white man is welcome in the temple, and tried to use the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's message to the black man to justify it. And he raised his children up on this. So he's for the white man killing you because he has killed Minister Malcolm X. He was involved in the deaths of many Muslims, including Minister Jeremiah X. Read in history how Minister Jeremiah X was killed, brothers and sisters. And James 32X, how he was killed. James 33X, how they were killed. You got to research it, brothers and sisters, to see that I'm telling you the truth. So he's for the white man killing black people, just like there were African chieftains that were for the white man killing and enslaving other Africans as long as they could benefit from it, as long as it didn't affect them. But how many people know that you can't trust a white devil? And if a white devil will attack one black man, then he'll attack all black men. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, brothers and sisters. And so we have to have an understanding. To understand how evil the white man is and how evil it is to go along with devils as they continue to damage our community, and what's more, how deadly it is to allow his agents to roam freely alive within our ranks. Brothers and sisters, I think not, and I beg your pardon. We cannot do this. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Hebrew Israelite. I don't care if you are Mauricelm Temples of America. I'm talking to you if you're black nationalist and you're Pan-African. We cannot allow this. Mustapha Farrakhan is a danger to our people, just like his father is a danger to our people. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or dislike, brothers and sisters. Thumbs up. And we have to understand, that's right, brother Crackhill, that a snake is a snake is a snake is a snake. And it's these snakes that came inside of your garden to disrupt your peace, to disrupt your kingdom. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to take it down a notch because the sister is here. And brothers and sisters, the sister is ready, on fire, and always ready to give us knowledge. Ready to give us knowledge. Now, we've been talking about how Farrakhan's son is an agent. The son is just like the father. As our brother Crack here tells us that a snake is a snake is a snake is a snake. But one thing I like about the sister, she can always touch upon those things that I miss. And her spirit, brothers and sisters, when it embraces yours, just like it embraces me, we get a knowledge and we get another side of why we must be dedicated to do for self and to stand in unity. Brothers and sisters, thank you for your time. And if you please, I bring aboard our sister so she can continue to bless us with her knowledge. And I'll be back before you, raging as a roaring lion, seeking who I can devour any evil devil that's connected to the white man. Brothers and sisters, if you please.
Greetings, peace, love, light, enlightenment to all of you. Shalom, assalamu alaikum. All right. I'm not gonna talk with you very long. I'm a bit emotional today. My heart is full today. I'm happy Juneteenth to all of you. My heart is so full. I am so grateful today. So grateful. We had a beautiful experience. There was an event here where we are, and it was just a beautiful experience. My heart is so full. My heart is full today, and I'm just so grateful. All praise is due to Allah, because for years and years, my husband and I, we've just been fighting, and it's like everywhere we go, you have to deal with these coons and these agents and these sellouts. Okay, right along with these crackers. Okay, these devils, and I have to be honest with you that I have to battle. I'm warring in the spirit. Warring in the spirit every day for our people all over the nation and all over the world, so that we can win this battle. And I was starting to feel a bit discouraged myself, just a bit discouraged myself, tired of fighting, tired of dealing with coons and sellouts. Not too long ago, even, somebody tried to set my husband up at the courthouse, and with these devils, he could have been killed right there. So, we have to deal with a lot over here. And, but my heart was so full today to be wrapped in black love today. It was just, I can't even tell you would have had to been there. The amount of love that was there today at this place. And I just want to encourage you all to love on one another, to keep standing up. And when you see a black sister or a black brother, okay, speak to one another, encourage one another, stand up for one another, support one another, feed one another. All right. Feed one another. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your support, showing up, engaging whenever we do these videos. All right. All right. I want to go ahead and encourage you all to continue to hold the line. Continue to hold the line, hold the gate wherever you are. Hold the gate wherever you are. Continue to hold the gate wherever you are. Wherever you are, you hold the gate right there. Yes, right there. You hold the gate, okay? Wherever you're at, we have to hold the gate where we are. All right. Amen. We got to hold the gate. And, I'm saying very little, but I'm saying a lot. I'm saying very little, but I'm saying a lot to you all. And I know that those that need to get it will get it, to hold the gate where you're at. Absolutely. And those who are, those of you who are spiritual, I know some of us, make focus more on the physical plane, and that's okay. But those of us who are spiritual, you understand that also war in the spirit and fight in the spirit realm. And I'm not talking about no spooky stuff. I'm talking about some real stuff. There's a reason that plagues take place. There's a reason that storms kill. The prayers of the righteous avail of much. Okay, now you do have to stand in righteousness, but those who are righteous, when we pray, it ain't no joke. Things do happen. So I'm very grateful today. Very grateful for the love and the support today. Absolutely, just the to see and be around elders that care. To be around elders that care today. I know so many of you are in locations where there aren't any elders. There aren't any elders there that care. So, I've been there. I've been different places. I'm from South Carolina. Is where, I spent most of my childhood and very young adulthood before I took off and started traveling and doing my healing work and my music and all of that. But I was in South Carolina. It's where I was raised. And if you don't know, South Carolina was the port, was the main slave port. here in America. So you have to understand the level of oppression there. Is very it's the level of repression and racism there is it's as good as it's gonna get. As good as it's gonna get there. You want to see some real rednecks, you go to South Carolina. Okay. That's where it's at. So that being said, I've definitely experienced my share of attacks, my share of coons, my share of, agents, informants. And, it can be very discouraging. It can be very discouraging when you're looking up at people and you're expecting people to love themselves, and you're trying to do the work for your people. You're trying to help uplift those who can't help themselves right now, and who to bring knowledge to those who don't know. And you have to fight against your own people, and you have to speak against your own people. Nobody wants to do that, but if they choose the other side of the line, what choice do you have? You don't have a choice. You can't just stay silent when you know people are wrong. You can't stay silent, because then you allow them to lead other people astray. You allow them to leave other people astray. Okay. And you have places like, Asheville, North Carolina, is a place where, you have a lot of people pretending to be progressive. Okay. One of the most racist places in the nation. But, they pretend to be progressive. So we can't get caught up in illusions. We cannot get caught up in illusions. And then we have, our people who are gatekeepers on the wrong side of the line. On the wrong side of the line. Because a lot of times our hearts can be corrupted. Our hearts can be corrupted. And we can think we're doing right, but because we fear these devils so much, that we'll make bad decisions and be in the way of God. Be in the way of God, trembling in fear. Because we don't want to stand up. We don't want to speak out. We don't want to be too black. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to be too black. We gotta accept them and bring them into what we're doing, but we can't be lukewarm. You need to know what side of the fence that you're on. Either you're on God's side or you're not. And that needs to be very clear. It needs to be very, very, very clear. All right. I'm not gonna speak with you long, because I'm a bit emotional right now. Been doing a little crying. I'm so full of joy. I'm so full of gratefulness to be surrounded by black love and black people, and just be amongst black folks. Not Oreos, but real black folks. Real black folks that love their people, love themselves, and to be in a space and feel safe, to be in a black space and feel safe, because there's black people there with guns, you understand? And they're going to keep you safe. They're standing guard, and they're not going to hesitate to shoot nobody, to keep you safe. As a black woman, I'm sick. I'm sick of having to go anywhere in fear. But I don't usually have to do that. My husband would not allow it. He's my bodyguard. I told a sister today. She said, she was telling, you can go ahead and take the kids out, watch your stuff. You can take them and walk on down there. They had some jumpy things there today, where we went. And, I was like, well, my husband's way over there. And I gotta make sure I let my bodyguard know where I'm at. Because that's just how we roll. I don't go anywhere without my husband being present with me, or, we know that it's somebody's there that's going to make sure that, I'm going to be safe. And I want that for all my sisters. I want that for all my sisters. In order for me to have that for all my sisters, we're going to need our brothers to stand up. We're going to need our brothers to stand up and love yourself and love your black women. Okay? Love your black women, okay? Love your black women. Now, that's one thing if you're calling somebody out for their unrighteousness, for their waywardness, okay, and them double talking. But it's another thing when you're talking down about people who don't know better, don't know to do better, okay? So I want you to reach out. I want you guys to reach out today. Reach out to someone who you know needs some knowledge, needs some love, needs some guidance, because you don't know what people have been through, okay? And you don't know what small thing you can do to touch someone's heart today, all right? You don't know what small thing it is that will be the blessing that they need and the thing that they need to keep them encouraged and keep them fighting, okay? So, do that. All right. Just want to send you guys some love. Love to my people. Love you all very much. Very much. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your engagement. All right. And I'm going to let Brother Minister come on back here and close out because I don't have very much to say. Otherwise, if I keep talking, I'm going to start crying in a minute. That's just how grateful I am today. That's how encouraged I feel today. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Peace, love, and light. Black power.
Blessings, brothers and sisters. Our sisters came before us, telling that truth. Greeting, brother Moore. Good to see you. In case I hadn't said it, just a blessing to have the sister to come in and be able to bag these things up. Because brothers and sisters, we're in a war. We're in war, so we have to be able to identify the dangers, and the most avid danger before us. The most avid danger before us is to understand that this white man that's got us on this plantation, old Charlie, the devil, Shaitan, got us on this plantation, acting a fool, running amok, and pulling the wool over our eye to make us think that we're free. Brothers and sisters, we're not free, and we'll never be free until we bring ourselves freedom, justice, and equality through righteous living, brothers and sisters, by changing our condition, our situation, opening our businesses, opening up our banks, opening up our own food institutions, open up our own education system, and we have to have an army. We have to have a militia. And you have to know this. It's foolish for you and I to be in this nation, on this continent, in this time, in this place, this late in the game, to not have a militia to protect us. Proof of which, the white man right now can walk around and kill us in any area that he wants, because you and I have not come together and organized amongst ourselves armies and factions of armies and community watch systems through Pan-African Black nationalist organizations and networks to keep ourselves safe. And we have to learn better than this. We certainly have to learn better than this. Yes, we do have Carbo federal institutions and bank, and I think we have 22 black banks and about 25 black lending institutions in America. This is true. But we don't have armies to defend that. And that's where we're falling short. And we all know what we must do. We all have the knowledge of what we must do, but we're too afraid to do it. We're not on code. We have distrust. And the reason why is because the blacks that are in these lending institutions and federal banking associations and credit unions are friends with the white man that control the FDIC. Now, brothers and sisters, I tell you how tricky it is. It gets tricky. It gets tricky. Because we don't even need the Federal Department of Insurance and Currency to guarantee our dollar if we're pooling it amongst one another in our own systems. And now they have the crypto system that you can organize on your own. You don't need the white man's help. But the white man, your friend, to those that feel that the white man is their friend, their friend, they say, well, this white man I know, he ain't gonna do that. He's not like that. Well, he don't believe in lynching or anything like that. He ridicules the white history. He ridicules it. And he and I come down and talk all the time. Here this man is living in a mansion and you're living in a shack and you think this man is your friend. I mean, it's a shame. If you were such a good friend of yours, then why don't he get you out of your shack and give you what he has, which the Constitution tells you that you should have? I'm glad to hear it, dear Sister D, that your loyalty is not a personal, but my loyalty is to my people. All praises be to God, Allah, and I know that God gave you that. Our blessings to you, sister. And all of our loyalty should be to one another. That's what we should have. But the white man, your friend. Many of these brothers and sisters kill me with what they say. To be honest, King, our brother Crack Kill said, to be honest, King, it's hard to act not knowing who you're around. Well, that's true. But brother, here's the thing. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. You understand? To all of us out here on this channel today, and all of those that are watching, even the agents, even the white man's agents, it'd be crazy for us to believe that the white man didn't have agents inside of the virtual world watching us too. So I'll say it all depends on the fruit that this person is bearing. A tree will be known by the fruit that it bears. That's the real Jesus, whose name is Yahashua Aliyah Asa, told us that you shall know a tree by the fruit that it bears. So you ain't going to get a lemon from a peach tree. You ain't going to get a lemon from a cherry tree. You won't get a lemon from a grape. You won't even get a lemon from a lime. But you need to know that a lemon can only come from a lemon tree. And you have some black lemons in our community. And when you see a lemon, you'll know it when you taste them because he's too bitter for you to keep in. So you'll spill them out. You avoid the very appearance of evil. So if they're producing bad fruit, then there's no way that they could be of any good to you or me. So you will know them, brother, by the fruit that they bear. In other words, all you got to do is watch them and watch their moves. Because agents and frauds, fakes and phony always makes funny moves. You got to know that. Yes, they do. They say one thing in front of you, but all you got to do is watch them. The minute that you watch them, and you'll begin to see who and where they are, where they come from. You'll know it. You'll know it. So I want you to understand. That's right. That's right, dear Sister D. We have to galvanize, mobilize, and organize. That's right. And you know, sister, this is happening. If you look around now, black folks, we have no choice but to lean on each other to become dependent and interdependent on our programs and the things that we create as a people. And so we're on the winning side. God is turning this nation over to us, but we also need an army. When you saw the army of Israel, which was a black army, because the real Israel is in Ethiopia. When you saw that army of Israel, Israel marched out with God in front, and brothers and sisters, they went in fighting people. When Moses and Joshua and Caleb were leading us over to the promised land from a history of bondage in Egypt under a Pharaoh who knew not Joseph. In other words, this white man that had came and infiltrated the camp. When they got into Canaan, they killed those white people in Canaan. They killed them in Canaan. And brother, we will be. You'll see that God is in us, brother Crack Kills. God is in us and is leading us in our will or against our will to his righteousness, his glory, his world, and his law. And John say, I looked and I saw a number that could not be numbered. Isn't that right? First time he saw 144,000. But then he said, lo, I looked and I saw men small and great, rich and poor. Isn't that right? I saw a number that couldn't be numbered. These people, he said to Abraham, they were as the sands of the sea. So brothers and sisters, we're on the winning end. We're on the winning end. All you have to do is stand fast, stand firm, and stand still and see the salvation of our God as he delivers us from the bondage of these devils and demons and Pokemon evil perpetuating race that's demonic and misleading our people. Now here Farrakhan, who has aligned himself with a pedophile, and I'll continue to say it, a pedophile named Father Flager. Don't you think that is nothing for his sons to do the same thing? That's why you have his spiritual sons and his physical son who will defend white people being brought into the temple. Well, didn't they do the same thing in Africa? Are we not repeating history? Because history unlearned is history relived. We are African, brothers and sisters. I want you to say that with me. African, we are African. Not African American. If you was African American, you wouldn't be fighting for the right to vote. If you was African American. If you was African American, you wouldn't be fighting for justice and equality today. And you still got black fools. Still got them. I mean, and they'll do it. That's why I said we got to train our women. And brothers, we got to be better examples for our women and our children so that they will allow us to train them in the admonition of God. And we have to understand that, see, anytime a devil or demon decide to put your woman over you, in the sense that he opened up all the job market and everything else to her, all the rights, and then start opening up the right to LGBTQ and every soft fella he can find, and take the heterosexual man and will not give him a job, won't let him be with his family or in his house. You know that demonism is running that whole situation. You know it. So brothers and sisters, Farrakhan is on the side of the LGBT, on the side of demonic teaching, or even sex change for children and all of that. He's on the side of that. Don't listen to what he say. Listen to what he does. And you got Nuri Muhammad and Wesley Muhammad defending the rights of white people coming into the nation, and Farrakhan lying on the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, saying that Muhammad knew that one day white people would be joined to the nation. Brothers and sisters, this is heresy. And that is not a teaching, that is a message to the black man. Why would God deliver you from hell and put you back in the same situation with devils who can't be trusted, who has a history of killing you, enslaving you, lynching you, and killing you in public, internationally, in broad daylight? God didn't do that. God wouldn't do that. So Farrakhan is a liar and a hypocrite. His son, Mustapha, is a liar and hypocrite working with the enemy. And you got black nationalists like Malik Zulu Shabazz doing the same thing. The new Black Panther Party with Crystal Muhammad doing the same thing, full of agents, provocateurs, full of agents. You got Bilal Akbar doing the same thing and getting black people arrested. You got Grandmaster Jay doing the same thing. It got Ozone arrested. You got nationalists that are headed now by agents that are getting our brothers and sisters that will fight true war, that are dedicated, getting them arrested in prison. And don't you know that the devil put them over our organization that would otherwise have delivered us overnight? That's why I tell you to join the African American Defense League. Because there's no hoops to jump through or anything like that. All I tell you to do is protect your family. Love your wife, love your husband, love your children, and protect them. Protect them with your life inside of your house. Or if you go anywhere, protect them. Don't let your sister go anywhere where you haven't watched her. If she's going to the grocery store, watch over her, brothers. That's your job. create a network of brothers in the community to watch over black women, black children as they go to and fro. That's your job. Black women, stop calling the police on your man. Protect your man and expect respect from him. But in order to do that, you're going to have to be respectful. Just like the black man, respect the black woman, and you have to be respectful to her, she to you, and also respectful to your children, that you will be able to build up what God intended, the basic building block of the family. And if you're protecting one another, there's nothing that this devil can do to come in between you, and there's nothing he can do against your children if he knows that his life is on the line. And that's the white man's problem. You haven't let him know that his wife is on the line, because we are the happiest revolutionaries. We don't even get angry. We're the happiest revolutionaries and the nicest revolutionaries that this world has ever seen. Proof of which the white man continue to kill us every day. And you got devils and demons like Al shopping around talking about peace and forgiveness, and we got to come together. It's not the black man that's got to forgive the white man. It's the black man that should be killing the white man for killing us in our community. And you let him live so that the white police can take him alive and talk about he got a mental health issue. While you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. But get armed, whether you have a weapons permit or not, and if that devil come in your community, blow his head off. Brothers and sisters, let me calm down. I've got to save some for tomorrow. But that's the danger that we're in when we got coons over us. That's the danger that we're in. Brothers and sisters, please, I ask you to donate what you can. I always say this, and I'm not begging, the brother's not begging, because one thing about Mr. Muhammad, he's made more organizations for us in the black community, businesses in the black community, than anybody could ever name. And so we needed, those of us that are standing for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings, we needed to continue. We needed to continue. We bridge the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad with the Baptist churches, with the Christian organization, to let them know that there's only one God, and we're on your side, and we know that you're on our side. So we ask you to get on God's side, because God is already on your side. And you'll find out that when you get on God's side, you'll see that we've already been on your side. And so, brothers and sisters, I leave this cash app with you, asking you to bless it today, please. Just the other day, I found out that there were people trying to send money to us, and I apologize because they had sent us a faulty signal, and the sister was kind enough to show me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and thumbs up, brothers and sisters. So the sister began to show me, and I found out that there were people trying to send support that were not able to send support. So I apologize for that. And our system was down, literally, and we thought we were touching people, and they literally erased the lessons that we taught on the 4th and 5th of June. And if you go back, you'll see that this is true. They erased that, and anybody that wanted to contribute on that day, and I saw it, they erased all of that. So we've got to try to catch that again somehow to be able to reteach that knowledge. And we keep a record of everything that we teach because we come from the direct teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So brothers and sisters, I ask you, those of you that were going to contribute on that, please do. And if you look at the top of the page where we have it pinned, there's also a link where we have those books there. And please feel free to go at the bottom of that link, and you'll see my direct personal email where I can send you a copy of the book through PDF. So you won't have to worry about getting it through the mail. We'll be able to send it directly to you. So I ask you to support us, please. And I'm so thankful for all that you do. We're trying to this month at least sell 7 to 10 books. So I ask you, those of you, and if you may know someone else that appreciates the knowledge, ask them to buy it. And I'm thankful for that. But whatever you do, if you want a book, I want you to send me your email so that you'll be able to get it. And we want you to have it directly with whatever you do. We're asking you to bless us the best that you can. But with whatever you do, we're going to always have these things sent out to you. And I want you to have it because you'll begin to see that there's truth to the knowledge that we speak. We're not down in Farrakhan. I love Farrakhan, but I can't allow him to lead us down this dark path to continue to get killed and all of this. And I can't allow him to stop us from building black businesses to protect and support our own community. And so God bless you, Brother Witherspoon. He says the first time that I was around Mustapha, he acted like a pimp and not a Muslim. That's the truth. I can't say that you're wrong. And I want you to understand that Mustapha's organization was only powerful when they had the Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad. If you look, you'll find out. If you look, you'll find out that the most Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad is who made the NOI a powerful organization as it was. Dr. Khalid Muhammad did that. It wasn't Mustapha Muhammad. And the minute that they moved Dr. Khalid Muhammad, because they said it was too militant, you'll see that the NOI began to decrease. And so, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you, and I appreciate, certainly appreciate all that you do. Don't ever think that it goes unrecognized, because it doesn't, and because we believe in the teachings. We believe, and we believe in the truth of God, and we believe in building up the black community. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why we have breakfast programs and things like that for our children and education system. And I do, brother Derek. Let me say this. I do, and it's the truth. But I have a brother that I love, and he's on more drugs than you can count. He don't care as long as it's something to get him high. I love him, but I wouldn't trust him to lead my family from the front door to the back. I wouldn't trust him to lead my family to the front door to the back. But I love him with all my heart. But I won't allow him to damage my family. And I will even kill to protect my family. And that's a fact. So I just want to explain it in that sense. And perfect love, right? When you have perfect love, then you will rebuke. Because it says open rebuke is better than secret love. And so I openly rebuke Minister Farrakhan. I openly rebuke him. And my heart goes out to other agents that he inspired, such as Nur Muhammad and Wesley Muhammad. My heart goes out, and I'll tell you why. Because I know that they're under the haze and the mist of Minister Farrakhan the same way that I was, and I pray God for their deliverance. So I just want to explain it that way. But I love you, brothers and sisters. Peace be unto you. Thank you, Sister D. And I'll give the sisters a greeting to tell her that you love her. And I know that you all do. And I thank you for loving her and also loving me. And I said, peace be unto us all. Peace be unto us all, because we need the peace of God, which surpass all understanding. We need this peace that surpass all understanding. So I want you to know that God is delivering us, and we'll have to prove God. We'll have to certainly prove God. We have to prove God, but he's delivering us. So brothers and sisters, I love you so much. Don't forget to protect yourself out there at these Juneteenth functions and things of that nature. You have to protect yourself, brothers and sisters, because so much is going on. Protect your family. Brothers, love your wives. Love your wives. And those that God will bless you with, believe it or not, even if they're what you call girlfriends or women friends, God has blessed you with them as wives, even under common law. And brothers and sisters, but make it legitimate before witnesses. Marry that woman and love her and support her. Sisters, love your husband. Love your brothers that God has blessed you with. And you all can make it. It's hard, to be married in this oppressive society. Nonetheless, you can make it. But don't depend on the white man. Depend on each other. Depend on perfect knowledge. Depend on God to deliver you, and he will deliver you from all evils, from all dangers, hurt, harm, and danger, seen and unseen. So I love you. And I tell you that we'll be ready at 7 o'clock. I see that that is a magic time, and it's good for us. And I ask you to tell somebody else about the truth, that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is already set in front of us, brothers and sisters, and that we will have peace, justice, equality, and Islam. And when you say Islam, or when you say Christianity, the only thing it means is total submission unto God. That's what it means. That's what it means. And we can't, that's right, Brother Derek, we can't trust race traitors. We can't trust it. And any black man that won't stand up for his community is a traitor to his race and a traitor to his people, and he's nothing but a chump. And so we don't do that. We don't follow chumps. We don't follow traitors. And we can't honor a man that is responsible for the death of Minister Malcolm X and the Most Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, we can't trust that. We can't trust it. We can't trust it. So I appreciate that. Sister D. Thank you very much. And anyone that's going to do anything, we thank you. Thank you very much. And it's because of you that the channel is becoming greater and we're getting more viewers and all of that. And I ask you to continue, please. Tell brothers and sisters that we're out here. We have people that are teaching the truth. We have people that are teaching the truth. We teach the truth. And we're going to teach it whether they like it or not. And we're going to teach you the truth whether you like it or not. But we hope that you can respect it to be able to take it and build up on it and make your lives greater and build up your family and make the family greater. We need fathers and mothers to stay in the house together with their children and to create their own source of income so that they won't be dependent on this devil. And if you are working, just continue to work. Continue to ask God to protect you and to continue to protect yourself until God has blessed you. Until God has blessed you. So this is the thing that we want. Certainly, the sister said, please show us more proof. Certainly will, dear sister. Certainly will. If you look up, I'm going to have links. I have links on our next show to show you this so that you'll be able to find it. And I definitely will do that. We'll go all the way back if we have to. Give me some time to organize it. But you can also go through Google and just type in Minister Farrakhan and Father Flaker, his friend. You can type in Mustapha Farrakhan and the Harvey, Illinois Police Department. You can type in all of these things and it will come up. So it is the best references out there, but I'll try to find these links for you. I have no problem doing that because I love you so. And definitely any questions or anything that you may have, if y'all go on that link that says support the movement, which is pinned to the top of this page. If you go on that link, you'll find out that we have a lot of that information there. Also, sister, we have a book that you can order. Sister Nicole Stephanie, we have a book that you can order. And on that book, in that book, you will see it. In the book, Who Killed Minister Malcolm X and Why? We have the knowledge there. We also have it in Black Rage 2. We have the knowledge there as well. So you'll be able to see those very things in there. And I'll do my best to produce the links with the time that I have to try to show you that as well. Because I want you to know. I definitely want you to know, and I want you to know what you're talking about. Brothers and sisters, I love you. And it's been a pleasure to be in front of you and to be a teacher to you today. I thank you very much. And I come to you in peace, and I leave you in peace. Peace be unto you very much. And to the Muslim, I say, Assalamu alaikum. To the Christian, I said, be at peace and black power.